Hey guys, this is Jack and welcome to another video. As you can probably tell by now, it's about MacKeeper. And the developers of MacKeeper asked me to do a video, basically a testimonial video. And what that basically means is I will basically talk about one feature, whether it be the data usage tool or the data encryptor tool, whatnot. And I'll talk about that feature for 1 minute. At the end of the minute, I'll move on to another feature and talk about as many features as I can. I'm probably going to cover 3 or 4 features that I find most useful for me personally. And at the end, I will do a 1 minute testimonial about how I like MacKeeper and so forth. So let's get this thing started. And yeah. So I have a stopwatch here on my. I just got an email on my phone. But anyway, I'm gonna start a stopwatch here on my G1 here, and I'm gonna set the clock right about now. All right, so I'm gonna talk first. Feature I'm gonna talk about is Wise Uninstaller. I have already done the scan. I have 12.1 gigabytes worth of installed applications. In the applications folder or in the Wise Uninstaller, you have 4 categories: plugins, preferences, widgets, and applications. And in terms of applications, all you have to do is select it. It will go and branch out to anything that's related with the app, and you can choose to remove some of it, all of it, or you can just check all of it by clicking on the app pane. So I suggest you do this for small apps. I don't suggest you do this for like apps like anything CS or Apple iWork or Final Cut, because those are deep apps. And by what I mean by deep apps is that just those are the apps that include a lot of things that stretch out deep within the operating system. So you can choose widgets. You can also delete the widgets from the basic the pre-installed ones, and you can do a lot more like plugins and preference panes. That is 1 minute, guys. I'm gonna move on to the next feature. Next feature I'm gonna talk about is it's a good one because there's a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna talk about Logs Cleaner. So Logs Cleaner is basically a cleaner for your logs. You have system logs, like you have Adobe logs, Crash Reporter logs. You have a bunch of other application logs, and they will branch out and tell you what size it is, and you can delete them. You can delete all of them. Most of these, actually, all of these you don't need. When the application launches again, it runs into error. For example, Crash Reporter, it will create a new folder. It will recreate another place for the log. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about that. And you also, the cool feature in almost every tool here is you can quick look things. For example, you can just click the quick look icon here, and you can view the file. Maybe it's a log, maybe it's a Word document in other tools. And yeah, so Logs Cleaner is actually very useful, and I find myself using it quite often. I have to clean out my logs, and just about another minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have another minute. So last feature before, actually 2 more features before I go. Languages cutter. That's very useful for a lot of you, and I'll start the minute again right about now. So language cleaner is basically another way for, I think there was like Xlimmer, there's another application, but in MacKeeper, all these applications are bundled in one, so you don't have to keep looking for different cleaners. And in languages cleaner, you probably don't speak a lot of these languages. I have them installed just in case, but I do use a few of them. For example, Japanese. I do use Chinese. I do use maybe let's see here, Vietnamese. Sometimes English, and a lot of these languages you don't need. And some of them, like Japanese, take up a lot of space, like 180 megs, because a lot of they're character-based languages. And some of them are really small, like Ukrainian, only not even a megabyte. Most of these are just a megabyte. Some of them are 60 megabytes, 80 megabytes. But overall, you have 1.5 gigabytes of fluff that you might not need every day. And sometimes, if you do need it, you can easily reinstall it. So if you want to delete it, it's pretty cool. All you have to do is just you can also quick look it, like I said before, and you can remove it by clicking the remove button. That is 1 minute for the languages cutter feature. One more feature before I go, and that will be disk usage. Now let's start another minute, and ready, set, go. Categorize all your folders, your main folders, and your home. So for example, in my home, it's going to be the Jack folder, and that has all my stuff in there. And it will get all these folders, and it will categorize them and scan everything inside and categorize them by the size, the disk size. And what you can do is you can go inside and delete things based, maybe it's a file that you thought only took up a few megabytes, but actually it was in fact a couple gigabytes. You can save a lot of disk space there. A lot of these stuff, most of this is all your information, so you do need this stuff, and you might have some other .ds store files that you might not need. You can clean them out. But yeah, in terms of size, it basically scans everything that you have and puts it out by size, so you know what's taking up the most amount of space and what to delete and so forth. And that is another minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the last feature I'm talking about today, guys. And the last thing is a testimonial. And this will take longer than a minute because I feel a minute is not enough to express all my feelings about this application. But here goes. Let's see if we can fit in a minute. Anyway, so the minute just started. And I find that MacKeeper is a really good application. Even has anti-theft services and Geek on Demand, Zeodisk, which is coming soon, which I haven't covered. And you have a lot of videos. You have videos for almost everything. For example, Binaries Cutter, which is a tool I didn't cover. You can watch a tutorial. You can actually watch video. Whenever you first go into the application, I suggest you go and do the one-click scan and step away from the computer for about 4 or 5 minutes. For me, on a 20 gigabyte hard drive, I took about 4.5 minutes to scan the whole thing, but it only scans for the cleaners. The one-click scan only does it for the cleaners. For the tools, for example, disk usage, it has to do that. You have to actually click on it; it will scan. Just come back in a minute or two. It's really fast. I really suggest you don't use your computer actually working while you're doing this, because the performance will be really sluggish. You have 3 services I didn't mention: Geek on Demand, Zeodisk, and Anti-Theft. Anti-Theft is actually really, really cool. It's like LoJack, but in a cooler kind of way. And overall, I found that MacKeeper is a really great application for keeping your Mac clean. You know what's going on in your Mac. You have very good tools to keep it going. And yeah, so you can also clean out a lot of space by just using the cleaners. For example, the log cleaner, the duplicates finder, the languages cutter, old files that list your files by the last time that you opened them, and so forth. So a lot of these things you can do manually, but MacKeeper just brings everything together in a cohesive package, and I find that to be very valuable. So you can get MacKeeper. I will post a link in the description box where you can get MacKeeper. Also, if you refer 10 people to MacKeeper, you will get a free license of MacKeeper, which is really, really cool. So overall, thanks guys for watching this video. If you don't understand MacKeeper, just email me, or not email me, but PM me on YouTube, or email me if you want to do that as well. And yeah, a lot of things are self-explanatory. You have live chat, and you also have Geek on Demand, which are basically calling Geek on Demand, like the name says. So overall, thanks guys for watching the video. Please, I hope you find it too long. It's not over 2 minutes, and I am well over my 1 minute allotment. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.